want? A choice. A chance.
There's your chance. Take it.
Grateful.
The day will come when you won't be.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back again with another throwback review of The Walking Dead. This is going to be for Season 3, Episode 8, entitled Made to Suffer. It was the Season 3 mid-season finale. Alright, guys, this was the one where they introduced Tyrese and Sasha. The start of the episode shows Tyrese, Sasha, and a couple other survivors. Ben, Alan, and Donna. They're fighting their way through some walkers in the forest. Donnie gets bitten, but Tyrese has enough compassion to bring her along until her husband, Alan, and son, Ben, are psychologically ready to let her go. The group seeks refuge in a crumbling building that is revealed to be the backside of the prison. Back in Woodbury, the governor, goes into his secret room and he opens his daughter Penny's cell, because she's already turned, she's a walker. She runs out to only be stopped by a chain around her neck. He sings a lullaby to her and caresses her, and she snarls at him. He then realizes that Penny is staring at the meat in the bucket, not him. And then he yells at her, "Look at me!" So, Governor's got a little bit of issue. Back in the interrogation room, Glenn and Maggie huddle several feet away from the walker that Glenn killed. Maggie confirms that the governor didn't rape her. Glenn yanks off the walker's arm and snaps it at the forearm in half, and hands Maggie a shard of the bone to use as a weapon. Back at the Woodbury's perimeter, Rick and the rescue team deliberate their next move. Michonne disappears but soon returns, having found a point of entry. The governor tells Merle about his plan to wipe out Rick's group and let walkers repopulate the prison. He suggests Merle enlists his brother Daryl as their inside man. And then Merle says nothing happens to Daryl, and the governor says, of course not. The governor reassures Merle, ordering him to bring Glenn and Maggie to the Screamer Pits before Andrea finds out about them. Back at the prison, Axel flirts with Beth, and Carol warns Axel stay away from her. Maggie's with Glenn, and "You're a lesbian," he replies, noting the lack of available women. Carol clarifies she's not a lesbian, and then leaves when Axel gets flirtatious. What a weirdo, right? It says, meanwhile, Merle goes to collect Glenn and Maggie, but the two stage an ambush. Maggie stabs one of Merle's men, Warren, in the throat before they can overpower Merle. A group of Woodbury soldiers enter and take them hostage. Rick and then the rescue team follow the sound of gunfire into the warehouse where Glenn and Maggie are being held. Rick releases a smoke grenade, enabling the group to escape with Glenn and Maggie. As gunfire erupts in the street, the governor tells residents to hunker down at home. He tells his men, "We are under attack, don't take any chances, try to take prisoners, but shoot to kill." The rescue team regroups in Woodbury distribution center, where Glenn tells Daryl that Merle is alive and working for the governor. He was going to execute us, Glenn says. Daryl wants to find Merle and try to convince him to let them go, but Rick insists that he has to stay by his side. The governor confers with his men and tells Andrea to check on the residents. She wants to fight, but he ignores her requests. Meanwhile, Michonne sneaks into the governor's apartment and waits for him to return. The rescue team makes a run for the wall. Andrea, disobeying the governor, shoots at them, not knowing who they are. She tells the governor she spotted a man in a prisoner jumpsuit. "Black guy, young," she says. "Escaped convicts," he tells her. As they escape, Rick hallucinates that Shane emerging from a cloud of smoke. Momentarily stunned, he watches as Shane, quote-unquote, shoots Oscar dead. Rick guns him down only to realize it wasn't Shane, but in fact a Woodbury resident. After yelling to an unresponsive Rick, Maggie shoots Oscar in the head to prevent reanimation. The group climbs over the walls and hides in the bushes to plan their next course of action, although Daryl and Michonne are still missing from the group. Back at the prison, Carl and Herschel are here screaming from the tombs. Herschel attempts to stop Carl from investigating the noise, but decides to let him go. Carl investigates to find Tyrese and his group fighting walkers in the boiler room. He urges them to follow him. Back in the Woodbury, the governor's apartment, Michonne discovers his secret room and unchains Penny, thinking it's his daughter. He has locked her up before realizing she's a walker. As she positions her sword to kill Penny, the governor comes in and he says, "Don't hurt my little girl," he pleads. Michonne, disgusted, stabs Penny through the head, and mean to say basically, "Screw you, governor." The governor, overwhelmed with grief and anger, he attacks Michonne in rage. As the two grapple, Michonne smashes his walker head aquarium and pulls them off the shelf. The governor is choking Michonne, and she manages to grab a shard of broken glass and stabs him in the eye. The governor reels as Michonne prepares to finish him off with her katana, but then Andrea walks in and draws her gun on Michonne. The two face off, but ultimately Michonne flees. The governor cradles Penny's body, devastated. Meanwhile, Carl leads Tyrese's group into the prison common room and insists that Donna will to be killed since she was bit in the arm by a walker before entering the prison with the others. "We take care of our own," Tyrese says. Sasha objects when Carl locks them in the room, but Tyrese points out that this is the best living situation they've had in weeks. Back in Woodbury, Dr. Stevens places a gauze over the governor's ruined eye. Andrea demands an explanation for his fight with Michonne, the walker heads in the tank, and Penny. He tells her he forced himself to look at the heads to prepare him for the outside world, but evades the other questions. Merle, Haley, and Milton check in on the governor, asking what happened, and he says, "I was attacked," glaring at Merle. Merle had previously lied to the governor about killing Michonne. Just outside Woodbury, Michonne rejoins the rescue team as they wait for Daryl. Rick demands to know why she disappeared and threatens to kill her. She reminds him that he still needs her to help rescuing Daryl and getting Glenn and Maggie back to the prison. In the arena, the governor addresses the town citizens, declaring that Woodbury was attacked by Rick's group. He calls them terrorists and accuses Merle of betraying people of Woodbury. His men drag Daryl into the arena as proof of Merle's complicity. And they kill them, the crowd chants. Andrea stares at Daryl in disbelief. And the governor says, "You wanted your brother? Now you got him." And the bloodthirsty people of Woodbury cheer on as the episode fades to black. So yeah, guys, this is a pretty intense mid-season finale. We got Glenn and they saved Glenn and Maggie, but in the process, Daryl was taken captured, and now that the governor knows that Merle was lying about killing Michonne, he thinks he's a traitor. So now the way it ends, it looks like he's gonna have them killed, or he's gonna make them fight to the death or something. We don't know exactly what's gonna happen yet, but pretty crazy ending to the mid-season finale. And then of course at that point in time we had to wait two months to figure out what was gonna go down. So. But yeah, all in all, very good mid-season finale. I like season 3 is probably one of my favorite seasons, so I enjoyed pretty much all these episodes. But yeah, that was the quick little rundown / review of season 3, episode 8, entitled "Made to Suffer." And I'll be back soon with another review. Y'all be good.